Boom! How's it going? It is I, TJ, Tara Jack from M5 Property Addicts, and like it is, we come out to you talking about anything and everything around real estate. Couple of things that we want to talk about today, and we want to talk about what comes first, the deal or the finance? The deal or the finance? A lot of people have been asking me this question, but what gives me the right to speak about it? Hey, if I am not doing what I'm doing today, which is making videos for you to enjoy, and this is the point where you click the subscribe button and the like, and don't forget to give some comments as we go along into this. But the reason why it gives me the right to talk about real estate is that if I'm not talking about it, like I said, I am doing business in the property space. So I invest in properties. I invest down here in South Africa. I'm in 4 cities: Johannesburg, Pretoria, Cape Town, and Durban. Yeah. And I run together with my business partners the company called M5 Property Addicts. And if I'm not doing that, I write books. You know, this is my latest book that is called From Bede to Property Mogul. Those that know my story knows that before I went into real estate, I was literally down in the under of 5 million. And by the way, you can get the book here online on our pages, and that'll be good for you to read and just to see how best you can do it as well. But today, let's talk about it. This has been something that we've been having a conversation, heated conversations with many of my brothers, and we're talking about what comes first, the deal or the finance, the deal or the finance. It's like a chicken and egg, right? What comes first? Well, this particular question, actually, you know, I look at some of the deals that we've been involved in, some of them multi-million rand deals, and we never had the money to go into such kind of deals. So definitely the deal came in first, and then we looked for the money. But I want to speak to this from two perspectives. And the first perspective that I'd like to speak about is from a newbie perspective, from a Rocky, they call him, yeah. So from a Rocky perspective, if you're starting off, I remember back in the days when I was starting off, right? I didn't think about where am I going to be looking, what is a deal? I wasn't thinking about finances and all of those things. There was nothing creativity within my space. But now that I am doing real estate, or should I say I'm doing property intentionally, more intentionally for passive income, I now understand that some deals can follow the money, or the money can follow the deals, right? So there's different sides to this, and I want to speak to it to say that the two things that we can speak about there is, when you're starting off and you're a rookie, you want to definitely start looking at how best do I start? How best do I start? So do I start by looking for finances, or do I look for deals first? My suggestion is that, you know, when you're a rookie, you just don't know what you don't know, and you could be naive as well. Hey, I've been double naive as I've been coming up and going, you know, and some days I look at myself back in the day and like, yo, TJ, did you do that? But let's speak from a rookie perspective, right? Let's go a little bit deeper, yeah? And if you're doing this from a rookie perspective, you've never done a property investment, I would suggest that the first thing that you want to do is you want to go in, and this is exactly what I did. You want to go in and look into your personal finances and say, how much cash do I have? And number two, how much do I qualify for? So if I go to the bank right now, how much are they going to give me? So from that perspective, you are looking at yourself without actually looking outside. And if the answer is you have zero cash and you have zero bond, right? So the bank can't give you any money, and that's okay. There is nothing wrong with that. I had zero cash and I was in minus. It wasn't zero. I was in minus 5 million, right, when I started off. But did I stop there? No, I didn't stop there. But what does it give you? If you do that, you're basically looking at yourself and say, before I start to having other conversations with other people, or before I go out and convince other people, you have now convinced yourself now. At this moment in time, you have convinced yourself to say, property investment is my thing. It is my thing, and for that reason, I can do it. So you've convinced yourself first, and there's no third party involved. If you are married, potentially you need to convince someone else that you sleep with. And thereafter, you can now start to do this. So convince yourself first, checking yourself first to see whether you qualify and how much cash do you have. That way, when you go out there into the market and you are looking for the deals, you know exactly how much you are looking for. Does it make sense? I think it makes sense, right? I think it makes sense from that perspective because you know exactly you qualify for 1 million and you have 100,000 with you. So you're going to look for investment opportunities within your parameters. Having said that, you can now go out there, and when you're now looking for these opportunities, you look for opportunities 600,000, 700,000, because you know factually you can fund the properties that you are looking at. That's the first thing that I would say, that, you know, from a Rocky perspective, someone who's new, I would say, yes, you want to sort yourself out to make sure that the money is there. And if it's not there, who else can I quickly go and ask now? But do you ask when you have a deal, or do you ask after the deal is there? Right? That's the question that we're trying to answer. What comes first, the deal or the finance? Right. The other way I want to look at this is that maybe now you're not new anymore. So you're not new, and you're maybe a year, 2 years in it, and now you're getting a good flow of deals coming through. On this flow of deals now, so the deals are running more faster than you are finding money, so which means that you can potentially now start utilizing the deals to secure the money, right? So that's now another different scenario, and you've started off and now it's going well, and on that side now you're seeing that that's the other option now. So you're using the deals now to get the money. The one question that people generally ask me and say, TJ, you know, so can I use my deal now that I now have to secure some money? And if I don't have, I'm coming from a perspective of you got zero money and you're in minus like I was, and you're now looking at how best now do you leapfrog from there. It's possible because I've done it, right? The thing is that potentially, if you are looking for the deals, the challenge that you're going to be faced with is the time that you're going to lock the deal versus you finding the money. The two might not sync. So the time for closing the deal and the time for you closing the money, if the two don't sync, so potentially you're going to lose out. So what do you do? That's a deep question. And besides being a deep question, it's actually a predicament that I still live in today. It's true, yes, I still live into it today. Because as an investor, or should I say as a property entrepreneur, what you want to do is you want to be creative at all times. Your problem is to solve the problems that we have at hand. What is that problem? Is it the deal that comes first, or is it the funding that comes in? No, so what if we give you all the money in the world, right? We all know money always comes with a cost. So we give you all the money in the world, but you have no deals. So what's going to happen, right? The cost of the money is going to start eating away on your capital, which means that you are now at a back foot because you've got so much capital available, and potentially wherever you have borrowed that money, depending on your borrowing mechanism, it carries a cost. All money carries a cost, right? So that's a predicament that you're now needing to solve. The other option is that, well, you've got a whole lot of pipeline of deals, and within that pipeline of deals, you are going to be chasing for money. When you chase for money and you're going to be closing your deals and putting in a prolonged time so that you can look for money. It is all complicated, right? The reality where we all want to be, and I've spoken to seasoned investors, I've spoken to upcoming investors, and we always think that there is what we call a imbalance. So one day you've got more deals than the other deal you've got more money than the other. When does it actually balance off? When does it actually balance? You have enough money for the right deals that you've got here, but it never happens that way. So at any given time, it's either you have more deals and you've got less money, or you've got more money and you've got less deals. What I would do with what I now know now, having been in the game within the last 4 to 5 years now, is that I have found that the more I focus on finding money, I am going to steal my time of finding the deals. So which means that I am going to have more money, but I'm going to have less deals. And again, the reverse will follow. If I focus a little bit more on finding the deals, I am going to have less time and finding the money, so which means that I'm going to have less money. So how do you balance the two? And this is where my relationship actually started off with Reta at a point where we were talking about, I am just going to focus on finding deals and you are going to focus on finding deals, right? And that worked for a season until we grew again and the problem came in again. Did it mean that the one was not doing the job of the other one? No. The complexity of the businesses started growing because now instead of just looking for money and looking for the deals, someone needed to manage somewhere, right? Because obviously when you're building the business, you are now, the properties needs to be managed. So if they're being managed, someone is going to be either stop looking for the opportunities and someone is going to be needing to look for money, or as the project is happening, renovations and things like that, someone needs to look into it. So definitely someone else who was looking for money or someone else who was looking for cash, now they need to go in and manage that. So which means that, again, you are in the same position. What comes first, the deal or the finance? Wow, okay. How have I now figured it out? I haven't. I know you could be looking at me like, how, TJ? I know, I haven't figured it out yet. I am doing what I can every day to make sure that we've got a balance of deals, to make sure that we've got a balance of income. Are we closing all the deals that we've got? No. Are we losing on some deals? Yes. Do we have enough money? No. Do we have more money some days? Yes. Right. So I suppose in this video here, what I'm trying to say is that even though we can work in a team, right? Even though we can have all of our T's and crossed and the dotted lines, and we have all these precisions and the processes, sometimes just lining up all of these things as a business, it is just a little bit problematic. When you are starting off, the process is very easy. You've got X amount of money, you go and look for the deals, right? However, as you grow a little bit older, right, you become a bit seasoned, the deals becomes more and the money becomes less. And some days you got more money than the deals. Now, I mitigate that sometimes to work with other people that bring me deals, so which is great. So we've got a pocket of deals. But again, someone needs to go in and verify all of these deals. They always say a good deal will always find money. It's true and it's false. I know that today's video is like very confusing. It's like, TJ, what are you saying? Are you saying that, or is it? All I'm trying to say here is that when you're starting off, it is far much easier to manage that. You go and find the money and you pin the deals and you go in. The moment you become a little bit seasoned, the difference now starts kicking in and the difference now starts becoming problematic on how you can manage it. But there are systems that you can put in place. Yes, you can have other people that you can pay to find the deals. Yes, you can have other good solid relationships with some estate agents where the deals will start flowing in and you can focus on the money. But as the business starts growing, you now have a portfolio that you need to manage. So someone else needs to manage that, right? And as we go along, right, your appetite of big deals starts increasing, which then means that somewhere along the line, the money that you have versus the deals that you're jumping into, again, there is a missync. And within that missync comes in the confusion that we are trying to solve on what comes first, the deal or, you know. Well, my conclusion is the deal, yes, will always find the money. If the deal is good, the money will come. That I've learned from my coach. I've learned it from other seasoned investors. Whenever the deal is good, the money will come. However, it's also true that when you don't have the right money, when the good deal comes through, the money will, you won't be able to close that. That's you know, if you don't have the systems to do it, you're going to lose the deal. But the reality that I would like to position on the table is that you need to learn how to balance everything. You need to learn how to balance everything, and that's important because when you learn how to balance everything, having people with money on one side, having good deals that are coming through, what's going to happen? Yes, you're going to lose some deals, but you're going to also close some deals. So, with the question on what comes first, the deal or the money, it just depends. For some people, they have all the money in the world, right? And the deals as they're coming in, they're extremely selective and they never close anything, right? And for some of us, we struggle on both ends, but we're still closing some. And it doesn't mean that we are not growing. You are growing, right? For as long as you're closing some deals. So my conclusion on this topic is that it just depends on where you are in your life or in your season of investing. But this answer here, the answer to our question of what comes first, the deal or the cash, the finance, it's such a wide question that will never be answered in like one shot of what comes first between the deal and the finance. It's like chicken and egg. What comes first? Nobody knows. But the point is, keep grinding, looking for money, keep grinding, looking for the deals. Yes, some deals will close the money. And yes, when the money is coming through, it's easy to close on some deals as well. It is I, TJ. It's been great chatting with you. We'll speak to you again on the next video. We'll check you out. Cheers. God bless. Goodbye.